Dear students, today I would like to teach you the immediate cause of First War of Independence and consequences of the revolt of 1857 or First War of Independence. What was immediate cause of the revolt of 1857? First one, I would like to teach this one. Dear students, you know this one. British East India Company introduced infield rifles in British Indian Army in 1856 in place of old-fashioned musket called the brown base. Basically, it was a kind of iron gun and not very much effective. So that's why I think innovations taking place, and in place of brown base, one new infield rifles had been introduced in British Army. The loading process of the infield rifles involved bringing the cartridges to the mouth and biting off. What do you mean by this one? Suppose this was a kind of, this is whatever I have taken, suppose that it is cartridges, bullets, and this bullet had a greased paper. This is greased paper, and by that greased paper, this greased paper, explosive material has been kept in the inside, and this is the greased paper. By that one, it was locked. And if any soldier going to upload these cartridges in respective new infantry rifles, so first one, soldiers have to bite up. Bite means by own teeth. This, like this one, it will be bitten. And it is said that this greased paper was made of cow and pig fats. I think my students are very much familiar about Indian religions, that cow is very sacred animal for Hindu, and pig is taboo for Muslims. Suppose if any Hindu or any Muslim is working in British Army, so this greased paper must have to bitten by that soldiers. That hurt the sentiment of Indian soldiers, and basically Hindu and Muslim both. And this is the immediate cause for revolt of 1857. So, dear student, you know this one, revolt of 1857 taken place, and after that, this movement was also suppressed. Do you know this one? Many our forefathers sacrificed their life, and many people who has sacrificed their life today, they are icons of the Indians. I think you know each and every points. After that, what happened? Some changing taken place in British administration system. So I'll discuss each and every point with reference to the consequences of the First War of Independence. First point I would like to mention here. In British Parliament, one act was passed, the Better Government of India Act or Government of India Act 1858. One act was passed in the British Parliament. According the provision of this act, what happened? First point, of the company's rule. Earlier, you know this one. In India, East India Company, was ruling India, and board of directors and board of controls were their executive body. By that body, East India Company was ruling the Indian subcontinent. After this act, what happened? End of the company rule is over, and power was transferred from company to British Crown. Means now the company executive bodies will be over. Board of directors, board of control were over. They transferred the power to government to govern India from the East India Company to British Crown. First point. And now point will be there, the board of directors and board of control will be over. So one more executive body is required. So in place of this one, what what happened? One new post was created, Secretary of State. Secretary of State was Cabinet Minister of British Parliament, and he had one council. In his council, how many members were there? 15 members were there. And his office was also known as, okay, India office. I think you people are very much understanding this one. So one Secretary of State, he was Cabinet Minister, and Indian Affairs, he is having portfolio. Okay, portfolio means responsibility. How to understand this one? Like, see this one, our Honorable Home Minister or Defense Minister. I think Home Minister name you are very much familiar. So he is having home portfolio, and one more our minister, very respected minister. I think you know this one, Honorable Rajnath Singh. He is a defense minister. So he is having defense portfolio. Means with reference to the defense, any question can be asked in the parliament. So respective defense minister will reply. So likewise, Indian Affairs Department affairs in Indian portfolio or Indian affairs given to Secretary of State, and he will be responsible to answer in the parliament. Now, the Secretary of State and his council, salary, allowances and other expenditure will be levied on, will be paid by, okay, Indian revenue. I think I have taught you I have taught you drain of wealth. So this example I have taught during my lecture, ki how Indian wealth drain to England. So this is one more example is there. Now, after that, one more post was created. That post was known as Viceroy, and Viceroy was executive officer in India. And like earlier, Governor General was there. In place of Governor General, okay, new post was created, Viceroy. How Viceroy will be appointed? Answer will be there, by Crown. Means Crown will appoint Viceroy, and Viceroy will be the chief executive officer of British Crown in India. Now, some more points are there. Appointment of the civil services were to be made by open competition under the rules made by the Secretary of State. Second point is there, in consequences of the First War of Independence, Queen's Proclamation. Means Queen's Proclamation means Queen's Declaration. And Queen Victoria declared that there are three more important points are there, four more points are there I would like to mention here. First point was there, all rebellion granted pardon except those who are guilty or who are guilty in the killing of the British officers, they will be not pardoned. Okay, means who has killed British officers, they will be executed, they will be given means proceeding will be started against them, and otherwise who were participated in rebellion, they had been granted pardon, they will be released. Next point, British government will not introduce any policy of expansion or annexation policies will be over now. Means no outright war, no subsidiary alliance, no doctrines of lapse. I think you are getting this one. Next point will be there, all subject. I think you know, if I am a king, so all Indians are my subject. So all subjects means that time Queen was Victoria, and Indian subject and European subject will be treated equally. Meaning, if any recruitment will be there, so there will be no any discrimination on the caste, color, creed, and only one ground will be there, that if any person, European or Indian, having potential, having competency, so that person can be appointed. Only one ground will be there, ability, and there will be no any discrimination on the caste, color, creed. Dear students, I would like to mention here, it was only proclamation. Okay, it was only paperwork, not came to existence on reality. So you should be okay very careful about this one. And last point of this one, promote work for public utility. What do you mean by this one? Public utility means which one is very necessary for the society. In India, promote work of public utility in India as so to ensure the material as well as moral progress of the people. Means each and every tools, weapons will be used by Queen to improve the material as well as the spiritual things in the people of India. Now, more other important points are there. I think you know, policy of divide and rule, racial antagonism. One more point I would like to explain with this topic, in this topic, changes in the army. And I will teach this changes in the army, are many points are there, but I will focus only 3 points. First one, कि ratio, earlier ratio between Indian soldier and British soldiers were 1:5. So ratio has been decreased. Means more European will be appointed. Recruitment of European soldiers taken place. Next, artillery. Artillery means heavy gun. Given to only European hand. Meaning is there, British government now had no trust on Indian soldiers. And one more point is there. I would like to explain this one. That is very, very necessary. Newspapers, journals, and nationalist publications were prevented from reaching the soldiers to keep the Indian army separated to the life of the rest of the population. I think you know, when newspapers will be reaching to Indian soldiers or nationalist publication will be reaching, so definitely nationalism, feeling, awareness, political sensibility, political enlightenment came to existence. So that will be dangerous for the British government, and British government wanted to wanted that how we can make policy that India will be in British Empire will be prolonged in India. Okay. Now, dear student, next day I'll come with another video. Thank you.